Zimbabwean popular prophet and philanthropist Walter Magaya, who is taking care of more than 5,000 children orphaned by HIV/AIDS in Zimbabwe, says if good policies are implemented, it will take his country out of the current economic crisis. Speaking in an interview with ANN7 correspondent Pandai Dube in Harare, Prophet Magaya, who runs Prophetic Healing Deliverance Ministries, also said church leaders in SADC region have to continue preaching peace as the devil is not happy with the stability that is prevailing in the region.
Father, I thank you in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. We started with 4 or 5 people, and then now we can rank ourselves as the most biggest ministry in Southern Africa, whereby we have our basic Sunday service, 80,000 people gather with us. So you can safely say we are the biggest ministry in Southern Africa so far. But we started with 45 people, that is. And we are under a charismatic group called BOCC by then. Then God developed us to have our own ministry from October 2012. And we are having our 4th year this year.
And second, we understand we are doing philanthropic work, and a businessman. What business are you into? And in the work of helping the community, what exactly are you helping the community with?
Okay, for sure I'm a philanthropist, as you have said. I'm a businessman, I'm a farmer. I do a lot of entrepreneurship. I'm a miner. I'm into anything that can give me money to assist the needy. So my purpose on this world is to assist those who are in need. So I do almost everything to assist the need. That's what I do. I'm into mining, I'm into farming, I do pigs, I do maize, I do potato, I do buying and selling, I do property development, I do cluster houses, I buy land, I develop cluster houses and I sell the cluster houses. I do whatever can bring me a profit so that I can assist the next person.
Okay. And you were once sponsoring the national team of Zimbabwe, the football national.
I've sponsored almost every sport so far. I sponsor rugby, I sponsor volleyball, I sponsor snooker, I sponsor Olympic people that goes to Paralympic sports. The issue is not about really national soccer team. It's about people, whoever is in need, and I have at that time, I will assist them. Where we are in Zimbabwe, the basic thing that a person would want is hope. We'd want to have a view of tomorrow. So I do that. I give people hope. I preach to them and make them calm. And I'm very glad that even my government listens to me. I speak as well in behalf of people to my government, and some of the things are being implemented. So I'm doing what I think is enough for the nation.
And recently you met the Reserve Bank of Governor, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor, John Mangujga. What maybe you want to tell Africa, what was it about?
Okay, he invited me and I went to see him. He was asking me over my view of the new bond loans which are going to be introduced to Zimbabwe, and we spoke about it. And I told him my view. My first view was bond is not a political issue. I think they took it in the wrong way. They made it politically. It's not just a monetary issue. Number 2, they spoke about it too early without making their proper research. And number 3, if it is a solution, it must have a backup. So we were speaking along those lines, and it was a good discussion. I was also airing my views on how to resuscitate Zimbabwe in 6 months, which I know if it is implemented, Zimbabwe can go back to its original position in 6 months.
And you're a prophet, and you said you are giving hope to Zimbabweans.
Yes, definitely.
As a prophet, what do you think is the future for Zimbabwe?
The future is bright. You know, sometimes when you go hard times, it just gives you a lesson, but doesn't mean that the future is now taken away. Everyone has just passed through what you've passed, and maybe some other areas even worse than us. But their future now is bright. Japan had an independence in 1956, but right now they seem to be the richest country, one of the richest countries in the world. So it's about how you approach after the crisis, which changes your nation. So to me, the future is bright. If the proper policies are going to be implemented and everything, and what you are discussing right now with them is implemented, the future is bright. It's just a moment of tough life, but doesn't mean that that's our conclusion.
What is your relationship with Prophet T.B. Joshua?
He's my father. He's my spiritual father. What I am, God has used him. Jesus Christ has used him to deliver a message to my life. And right now, I am what I am because through his guidance. Jesus Christ inspired him and he spoke to me every time. He guides me, he corrects me, he rebukes me if I do any mistakes. He rebukes me, he tells me where I'm going wrong, and I change my character because he's my spiritual father.
And you talked about the expansion of your ministry.
I said I'm the biggest in Southern Africa. My wish is to be the biggest in the world. And by so doing, what are we doing? We've got a TV channel called the Other TV. I've got cell groups, which are all over the world right now, where there are 400 members, 500 members, 600 members, 1,000 members, like in Australia, China, America, United Kingdom, everywhere. There are cell groups there which are doing very well, which are actually ranked as one of the biggest churches there. So my aim is to expand and be the biggest in the world. But currently right now, I feel, and we have been told by those who look at numbers, that we are the biggest in Southern Africa. I don't know what's in the middle of Africa. I've never researched. Maybe by later year, maybe we're going to be told that we are the biggest in the Southern and in the middle of Africa. Considering the numbers of people that gather every Sunday at our church.
I don't know, how is your relationship now with the Mapostor in Shona? Because I remember there was some talk that you were not in good relationship.
No, I don't have a problem with them. They have got a problem with me. But my personal, I don't have a problem with them. I preach the truth. And I wasn't speaking about the apostolic sect. I was speaking about the marine spirit. But I think they just found themselves in the topic. But I wasn't preaching about them. I don't preach about churches. I preach about evil spirits. So I was preaching about the good news of God and what He wants us to be redeemed from. So I was preaching that people must be redeemed from the aspect of marine spirit. And I was giving examples of how marine spirits work. And I think on that line, they did find themselves in the same acts which the marine spirit operate. So I don't have anything against them. It's their belief, it's their way of living. But what I only wanted to clear is it must not be referred as a church. It's called apostolic sect. It's another sect.
Anything deep down in your heart you want to say to Africa and Zimbabwe? Anything?
If we listen to your prophets, our life will change. I strongly believe that as prophets or men of God in the countries and in this world, we're not being given enough chance to be listened to. I gave a prophecy 2 weeks ago about things that are happening in South Africa right now. I said more violence will happen in Southern Africa than any other time. More violence will happen in Southern Africa than any other time. The leaders must use their church leaders to make the issue of violence to be calm. Because otherwise, in Africa, we are not yet developed. If you start to destroy the few that we have, then you are going nowhere. So there's going to be more violence everywhere. There'll be violence everywhere. There'll be violence. Oh, the war of Sadak. The devil was like angry with Sadak. They've been peaceful for too long. So there'll be violence. So what I would advise the leaders who are listening is to engage the nearest church to speak about peace. If we are correcting any politics, let us do it in peace, such that we maintain the little that we have in Africa.
So we can say even in Zimbabwe there's going to be violence.
Yeah, I said that.
Thanks a lot.